This is the first recording about the creation of the donut we discussed in the classroom. So I'm going to start by deleting all the other elements. I'm going to delete also the cube in the center of our projection here. The best option for us to start with the donut is by adding a torus. So I'm going to add the torus here, right? This guy here. Do not click anywhere. Do not move it so far. Click on the add torus window tab here. You can be creative, like change the major segments to whatever you want, like to 60 as an example, and the minor segments to 30. It's up to you. It increases the complexity of the surface of the object. You can leave it as it is. As an example, you can go to 24 if you want to do like a lot. We're going to make like many changes, something like 56 here. But it depends on how much geometry you want to add to your object. So for the major radius, let's keep it small, 0.05 and 0.02 for the minor one. I have to zoom in because it's very small now. So just leave everything else like as it is. X world coordinates is okay. And that's your donut, right? You can also see the geometry around it. In here, we're gonna start by modifying the surface of the object. So go to edit mode and select any of these options. The first is the vertex mode, the second is the edge mode, and the third is the face mode. Let's start with the face mode and stop and select it and start moving it. So press G or the gizmo here, the option here, but you can press G and make it like a bit more interesting for you and easy. Like selecting many, you can like modify the surface. There are many ways to do that, but okay, we have to learn how to select areas, right? You can also press Shift and it's gonna select multiple objects, or press Shift and Control and select a bunch of objects. You can also go around and select them like that. Okay. So yeah, like that. So if you want to select many of them, so you can go to G or S, right, to add some scaling and create something like that. It's up to you how you're gonna do it. If you want to select the edge, select X. You can select edges. I'm gonna go down here and try to select as many as I can. Oh, sorry, I selected the object, masses, and then you can go to vertex, right? This selects vertices on the surface of the object. So I just pressed F, which is next to G. If you press F, it's gonna merge them. We're gonna see it soon. So press G and move it here. Okay, you can create a bumpy surface and like make it look like more of a donut instead of a like cylinder here or a torus. Up here, move to the side of the object. It's a better approach to select the toggle X-ray because if you select them like that, you see that the object is not selected, right? The top part of the object. Why do we do that? We need to select the top part of the object in order to create the icing. So go here. You can select faces or edges or vertices. I would go with faces right now. So go here. You can deactivate that and make it more solid or less. It's up to you how you're gonna select it. So I'm gonna select these guys here. Some of them have not been selected, so you can try again to make sure that you have selected the top part. Okay, so now you can duplicate it. Shift D and P. This creates a new object up here. As you can see, we have the objects. If you go to object mode, you have the torus, which is what? The donut. And we also have the icing, which is the icing. Torus 001, which is the icing, so icing. So you have two objects in here. Okay. So you can see now the object, the base color of the object. In order to see the object's color, you have to select the object and go to the modifier. So deselect that, and yes, it disappeared because it has not been rendered yet. So select this guy. It's white. You can pick any color you want. In here, I'm gonna select the red one. And then you can also increase the metallic value, how metallic it is. Do not overdo it because it's not metallic, right? I'm gonna add a little bit here and roughness, right? How glossy you want to be. I think that's good for a donut, right? For the icing. And then select this guy, that donut itself, the dough. And then pick any color you want for the dough. Something like that is good, right? Metallic, not so much. Just leave it raw and roughness. Do not make it a lot of, like, too glossy. Just leave it like that, right? We see in the future that we're gonna do more with texture paint and with shading mainly in this course. So it opens these shading programs and shading stages, and then you're gonna modifying them, adding a lot of stuff in here. But that's for the future, right? For now, we're just working with this object as it is. So I'm gonna go to layout again and see my object, right? Always remember to select this shading material preview. Otherwise, you won't see materials. If you see that, select that, you won't see any materials in here. Click here. That's your base color. That's your object, and that's it. Okay. Now you can select your object and press Ctrl J. I just pressed Ctrl and J. Right, and this object now is one. It's a donut. Right, that's a single donut. And the next step, if you're happy with your object, make sure to select it. Is to go to File, save actually your project. You never know what you're going to add later. And then just go to Export and select FBX. FBX is safe, acceptable by many game engines, or not to say all of them. And then I'm going to just save it somewhere. The settings that you need to select, if you want to export the whole scene, just export it. You're going to export everything. Now you have only one object, so you don't care about that. But if you have multiple objects and you want to export all of them as a single scene, you can select, you do not have to select that. But now I have only one object, the donut. Select the donut inside the viewport. That's a trick here. And select selected object. Go to Untitled FBX, name it like donut test as an example, or donut, my donut, whatever. And if you wanna make sure that you have exported only meshes and not something else like cameras and stuff or empty objects, empty scenes, select the mesh here. No armatures, no lamps, anything. This is very useful with armatures when you select multiple compartments of the object. Okay, scale is 1, it's perfect, don't worry about that. You can increase and decrease based on what you need to export. If you have created a very small object, you can scale it up, increase the complexity. So export FBX, and now your object has been exported. Okay, so you can import it to the game engine, and that's it.